All right. Now, which grade are you in now, Nikosha? Which grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade.
You're in grade 11. All right.
Yes.
Um, so Tasha, you did the exam last year? Tasha? Your mic is muted, Tasha. So if you're talking to me and I hear a word you're saying.
Oh,
Yes,
sir.
you did the exam. Is it the first time doing the exam or did it before did it last year?
Yes.
First time? No, I'm listening. First time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. So this is the syllabus for the human and social biology exam. Now the exam has five sections. Section A, which deals with living organisms and their environment. And I'm quite sure, 100% sure, that you're living. And there are indicators, what we would call characteristics of living things, that tells if something is living. Now, sometimes you see a dog lying on the road and you wonder if it's dead or alive, don't it?
Yes.
Good. So, how you know if the dog dead or alive? How you know if the dog dead or alive? Tell me.
First thing, if the dog isn't moving, breathing,
Okay. Breathing, moving. Okay. So you know what? You have just mentioned
it's
two of
not
the characteristics of living things. So you naturally look for the characteristics of the living things to see the dog is living. So you look for his breathing, which is respiration, respiratory system is working, or if he's moving, skeletal system, two systems. So, so when we talk about living things, we look at the characteristics of living things. If they are breathing, well, you would say respiratory, respiring, and if they're moving, locomotion, and of course we look to see if they are responding to their environment, sensitivity. Good. And we also look to see if they will eat, because sometimes persons are not eat because they are ill, they are sick, feeling ill. So you want to know if they are feeding, right? Nutrition. And you want to know if the person is, you know, eliminating waste from their body, so the respiratory system. Good. So biology focuses. So when we get to life processes, that's when you start to look more into the characteristics of living things, seven systems. And that's why we have 8 videos, because 7 of our videos focus on the life processes, and our eighth video covers the entire section C, which is heredity and variation. So we'll teach section A in the class, and by the it but so, and there will be times where I wrote roll over to section B, because you have already done your first lesson, your second lesson, your third lesson. So in 8 days you should finish HSB. 2 weeks. How that sound? Can we do
Well,
that?
bad.
Huh?
I think so.
Well, you will. In 8 weeks we can finish 8 weeks, 2 weeks we can finish the syllabus. So the rest of the remaining weeks, once you do it this way, once you do lesson by lesson, by lesson, we will finish in 14 days. Now, for the remaining lessons though, remaining weeks and weeks and weeks of exams, It's just practice possible questions. You teaching me, getting intimate with the subject area, falling in love with it, and bam, grade one. All right, easy grade one. So we'll be looking at how you answer the questions or you approach the questions, because that is important as well. All right. Okay. So the living organisms and the environment. So we'll talk about the environment now. It's not only human beings alone live in the environment. Plants live in the environment. Other animals live in the environment. So you're going to talk about systems like ecosystem. We might talk about the food web, the food chain. Good. We're going to also talk about different movements, because I don't know if you have ever looked at a light and when it's shining in a particular area, you see some little particles. You ever see that before? The particles? Ever see some particles? They call it Branian motion. But that is like diffusion. All right. Let's say, for instance, your brother or your friend or male friend or something, family or some close friend. The rain was falling. They walked in the water. And my, as they take off their shoes, mm, you stay all the way in your bedroom, and you could tell that socks don't smell right. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Right.
Okay. Oh, yo, it you say yes, you're correct. So you ever had that experience yet? As in, you were the one wearing the socks?
No, I wasn't the one.
No,
My-
Oh, you weren't the one. Oh, okay, you weren't the one. Okay.
it was my big cousin.
Big cousin. Okay, all right. But you weren't near the socks. You were not near the socks. You were a distance away from the socks. Then how the the scent reach your nose? How? The person didn't carry the socks to you. So how? That's what scientists ask. And the answer is there are particles moving in the air. You wonder why people they don't believe in God, but yes, they believe in something that they have never seen. They only see the effects of it.
Yes.
Yes. Same thing with God. We might have not seen him, but we see his works. Yes. No, it's science is talking about it, so you can't separate the two. The creator and his creation. Now, of course, we call that diffusion. So the particles are carrying that scent. Diffusion. It spreads evenly. But there are different experiences of diffusion that we will look at. And you can do little experiments at home. I hope so. If Ashley was on, Ashley was sorry she couldn't make it to class this evening. The Stravian or HSB class so far. We'll need five more to full this group. Now, what Ashley did in one of her presentations, she had a piece of potato, cut out the potato. I think she used salt or sugar, I think, inside the cavity. And I have there, she was on video and she was showing it. And we stayed and watched and see what happened. So she was basically experiencing osmosis. So not because it is online, you're going to think that you're not going to do little practical activities. Yes, you are going to do some practical activities. So those of you who live in Westmoreland and those of you who live in St. Anne's will have to go to the market and buy a piece of potato.
Eh,
Oh yes, and cucumber too. And put cucumber in a strip of cucumber in salt water and see what happens. Of course. This is science class. What do you think it is? Not because it's online, it's teaching this and learning. All right? No. I tell you no. I know you're going to get a grade one. I'm going to go all out. Good? No. I don't know if you'll be able to get access to iodine. So we can do some starch tests. All right? Little food tests. There are some chemicals you will not be able to get because they may not necessarily give you over the counter. Right? But we'll watch some labs. We'll watch some video labs All right, we watch some video labs, and then when you watch those video labs, you are going to observe. Yes, you have to observe. You're going to record what you observe, and you're going to record the method used, even though you're watching a video. And of course, you're going to also state your conclusion. Yes. I have to also determine the aim of the experiment if the person did not mention the aim. Yes. Lots of work. Lots of work. Lots of work. Good. Food test. Can you have to do the food test? You might test upon food test in the exam. Good. Good. And while we're doing food tests, a little nutrition must come into that. The source of these nutrients that you're testing for. And the deficiency of the nutrients. So you don't have to wait until we get to section B before we start to talk about the nutrients and the source of the nutrients and deficiency of the nutrients. No, deficiency might be a big word there. Deficiency means lack of, mean that the nutrient is not present in your diet. Good. So we'll be looking at those things: the osmosis, the diffusion, the food chains, the food web, different parts of the food chain. And I'm sure you know about food chain. Let me tell you how you know about food chain. All right. If where everybody get food from, where's the main source of food for everybody, every animal, everything? What's the main source of food?
Plant.
Plants. Good.
Plant.
Plants. Does plants buy food or them produce food?
They produce.
They produce. So therefore the plant is the producer. So the food chain will always begin with a producer. So is the food web. Producer, right? Now, next question. Start teacher already. No, I'm supposed to start teaching. I'm start teacher already. What's how it go? But I don't know some stuff. Now, question. Anybody here eat mutton? You eat mutton?
Well, sir.
Do you eat mutton? Mutton.
Yes, sir.
What is mutton, by the way?
The meat.
Meat. Mutton have meat. Good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nikosha. Tasha, tell me meat. Goat. You know what? You eat goat. You know, you eat goat, of course. So if you say eat goat, drink sweet mannish water and curry goat.
Like that. No.
Eh? You love it. I know you love
No,
it,
sir.
man. Hey, Westmoreland people can cook some nice mannish water, you know. Nice mannish water. I don't know about Senton people yet. They can introduce it to me, sweet Miss Clark. All right. But the goat now would have partake from the plant, which is the grass. But both of you, both of you, just say it, both of you, they love the goat. So therefore, you'd have ate the goat that ate the plant. So
Yes.
exactly. So you naturally experience the food chain. You're a part of the food chain. So, but it's not so hard then, because of what you experience. Let me tell you something. As you go through this course, you must understand this is our introductory session to human and social biology. Now, what you must understand is that what you read in a textbook is the scientist or the author's perception of what he or she observed in nature. Because if you go outside, there's no word. If you look upon the goat not have nothing right upon him unless the farmer brand him name upon him. I'm sure the farmer name goat. Right? Well, and I know of a nickname called him goat, but you know, so there's no words out there. So the man in Spain writes the same thing that the man in England writes. They're talking about the same thing. So the idea is not about to recall the facts, but it's to understand what's in front of you. Have your experience too. Write it in your own words too. So I don't want to copy and paste thing when you're doing my worksheet. No copy and paste. All right. Stop and think, man. Think about the experience out there. maybe some scientists go deeper than you because you have the equipment to do it. So you can learn through his eyes or her eyes. So what you're really doing when you're reading, students, you're learning through the eyes of the author, the eyes of the scientist. When we go further down into the syllabus, I'll show you that when you're writing your answers to exam questions, you don't have to always use a bag of words. Some people love the long sentences like Miss Clark, you know, she write lovely essays and she write lovely persuasive essays, right, Miss Clark? Right? So
Yeah,
yes, but in HSB, you don't have to write so much. You can draw. Yes, you will see the evidence is in the syllabus. You can draw. It's a comparison of drawing and words. All right. No. So you'll be doing into that. So let's come off section A for a bit and go to section B now. Now, section B of the syllabus is the longest part of the syllabus. The longest part. So I created videos for it. When I say we, it is CDP Labs is a team of persons, not just me alone. All right. Okay. Now, so the life processes deals with the systems. So you know you have the skeletal system that deals with the bones, muscles, and so forth. You have the respiratory systems, and you know in a system is made up of different organs. And the organs are made up of tissues, and tissues are made up of cells. Good. What does this mean? It's like an organization. Or let's use a family. Your family is like a system. Oh yes. Oh yes. How is a family a system? Well, the I want to say the parents are mature cells and they copulate and they produce other cells that will produce other cells. So they have one big family. All right. So you learn about reproduction as well. Now, so reproduction, you see, God is an awesome God. You know? He said to Adam and Eve, go and multiply and replenish the earth. And God multiplication is very something to think about, you know? All right. So feel free to multiply, but not now. When you pass the exams and you get married, you multiply. All right. I won't ask Miss Clark how many kids she wants, so I'll ask her after the exams. All right, Miss Clark. Yeah, you know, answer me. Okay. All
I
right.
don't.
Oh, that one go? You don't wish to
I
have
don't
one? You don't wish to have any children?
know, sir.
Well, maybe after HSB you might think otherwise. We'll see. All right. Now, for the systems, though, what is required of you for the study of the systems? You might have to make some models and explain to the class how the models work and demonstrate. It's like the lungs, there's a popular one with a plastic buckle and they use a thing to put it on it, show that the balloons are moving. All right. Talk about breathing. You must have some unlabeled diagrams and you must be able to identify the structures and state the functions. You must know them, you must own the knowledge. So I don't want you to read off anything to make sure you're prepared for your presentations. Um, the other thing is to, what's the other thing now? The other thing is, what's the other thing? Okay. Charts. You're gonna make some charts. So in your presentation, you can make charts as well, and explain. So the systems is strictly models. So where you come into it during the live sessions, is that you're going to make models. You're going to teach the class, do your presentations, and I will grade you on your presentations as well. So I hope you're not a shy person, because Mr. Bernard don't want any shy students. Okay. And if you're shy, you're going to stop being shy. You're going to try. All right, good. Now, heredity and variation is covered by one video one single video. So you talk about why I look as handsome as my father, and why my father looks as handsome as me, or why my, you know, or why my daughter looks good. Thank God for her now, and why you guys look so beautiful. Even though I'm not so in the face at all, but I assume that you guys are beautiful, right? So heredity deals with that, and variation really has to do with the fact that when in your bodies, when the chromosomes are crossing, that's when the variation process begins. Some scientists say that the environment helps to create some sense of variation as well, and we look into that. All right. Now, don't believe everything that you read from scientists, because some scientists are evolutionists while some are creationists. But the best scientist to read is what God created. So get your own perception by observing what's in nature. Sometimes you can go there. What inspired me to teach maths and science is because one night not one day, I was looking through my window and I saw a lizard lying down on a leaf. And you ever slept before? Lizard lying on a leaf? Anybody slept before?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I started to ask myself, how that animal is supposed to heavy lie down on the leaf now bend or nothing, just balance. Don't get it. But that curiosity that awoke my language system. I said it using the right tense. It awaked my curiosity to spend some time in nature, man. And when you study nature, trust me, you will learn more about your environment and you learn more about your creator. And you will always say something about him. So heredity and variation is covered by one video. Again, presentations. So most of your classes is presentations by you. All right. Section D, that's just you alone, meaning that you are going to research, do your presentation, disease, its impact on humans. And normally our teaching jumps from section A to section D. All right, 'cause I don't have any videos for that, but I might give you videos with worksheets for that. But I'll prefer you do your presentation. And section E deals with the impact of health practices on the environment. So you'll speak about the water cycle. It will speak about purification of the water, small scale and large scale purification. We'll talk about the sewage plants, and we'll talk about pollution and how that's what we talk about health practices, pollution. And of course, they're going to talk about COVID-19 naturally, right? You want to say they know about COVID-19, so you're going to naturally talk about the protocol, the health protocols, how COVID-19 can be prevented, which that's natural for you to write about. All right, very good. So when I want to look at the objectives now, we're just going to focus on. I'm going to head down to the glossary, but before I go to the glossary, I'm going to look at, as I was telling before, when you receive your exam grades, they give you a slip of paper, or these is online, and you'll see KC, knowledge and comprehension, and you'll see use of knowledge. Those are skills. It says on completion of the syllabus, students are expected to develop skills under two profile headings. So CDP Labs and your services classes are based on developing skills. That's what allow you to pass the exams. All right? That's what allows to pass the exam. That's a secret. Okay? Yes. But you have to do the work. You have to go to the gym and build those muscles. All right? And make your body tone. Good? So yeah, we have a gym program for you. All right? To build those skills. When they talk about knowledge and comprehension, what are they referring to? Your ability to identify. That means, so this is the reason why we talk about unlabeled diagrams. Okay, one must practice to identify the structure and the function. Remember and grasp the meaning of basic facts, concepts, and principles. I rather start with concepts and principles than facts. Because once you grasp the principle and the concepts, it becomes facts for you. Select appropriate ideas, match and compare facts, concepts, principles in familiar situations. So once you know the facts, you'll be able to apply the facts. When you're reading, because you understand the concepts and the principles, you're able to communicate and say, yes, oh, yes, man, I understand. It's like how Tarsha was saying that the first thing she would look for is if the dog is breathing or the dog is moving, because she knows that those are two characteristics of living things. Natural. Use of knowledge. The ability to use facts and apply concepts, principles, procedures in familiar and new situations. For example, this is what the doctors do. This is what you pay for when you go to the doctor. Why? When you go to the doctor, what doctor normally do? Anybody? What doctor normally does?
They ask questions.
Yes. What kind of question them ask you? You never go doctor yet? Tasha, you go doctor too? You go doctor to Tasha?
Yes.
When you go doctor, when you go, all right. The coach said them ask question. What kind of ask the question the doctor ask you when you go doctor? What them ask you, say?
They ask how, they ask the problem,
What
what,
problem?
what is the problem, or what am I feeling,
Uh-huh. What are you
right?
feeling? Yeah. What else?
Because they touch me first.
And touch it first.
Touch me after, sir.
What you saying though? There you
No, then touch me.
go. And touch you. Oh. Well, that's another way of getting the information, by touching you. Okay. All right, wonderful. So the doctor now has to get the facts, get the information. But because of his understanding of the facts that you gave him, he's able to diagnose your condition and make a prescription. That's how the doctor does. Nothing much to being a doctor. The person who should get the credit is the scientists, not the doctors. Well, yes. Doctors pay a bag of money to read and to recall. That's how doctors pay a bag of money to do. All right. So, yes, so the doctor is as important as a teacher. So if you want to do a career, think teaching too. All right. Good. So the doctors use what you told them. Let's just say, for example, you have a male friend, and for good words, who says he's a girlist. He's a girlist. He says he's a girlist, and because he's a girlist, he thinks that he has to have more. He has to live up to the song of being a man. Have to have girls in the bungles and all of that. It so happens that when you have girls in the bungles, one evening or one night, he probably was wearing a white underwear. And when he looks, he saw a spot. Oh, what's that? What's that? He went to the doctor and said, Doctor, when I urinate, I feel in pain. And it was a secretion, pus secretion. Doctor said, oh, based on my knowledge that I have read, that seems like you have an STD called gonorrhea. So that the doctor did. The doctor. So you have to know. You have to know the effects and the cause to diagnose. Am I making sense to you? Am I making sense? So you use facts and apply concepts and principles and procedures in familiar and new situations. Interpret and draw inferences from practical laboratory exercises. So I might give you a little lab to do. You can grow a seed, which is normally they use red peas, germination. So I'm going to give you a couple of days to do that. When we get to that one, then we'll start to utilize it in the class. You can develop your own um, diagrams, your graphs, and you interpret your own graphs and take it from there. All right, so just moving on from here. We have been long for quite some time, so this you can look up the syllabus online for yourself and go through that. But I want to jump quickly before we go, so that won't be long tonight. So we're going to go to the glossary. A very important piece of the pie. Now, before we go to the glossary, I want to look at some words being used in the syllabus. Describe, explain, distinguish, describe, explain, etc. Now, if they tell you this, if the syllabus says you must describe, there must be a way to do it, don't it? A glossary is very important to read in the syllabus, students. Very important to read. You're going to see why. The glossary is one of the secrets in learning how to answer exam questions, especially when it comes down to sciences. All right? One of the secrets. You can share the secrets with your friends. Now, annotate means to add a brief note to a label. So when you're doing your presentations, I want you to annotate them. So if you build a PowerPoint or you're doing something on a Word document or a chart, you need to annotate it. Simple phrase are a few words only, and that is UK. Yes. Now, you see the use of knowledge? So when you can draw a diagram when you answer the exam questions and annotate it, and they give you lumps of marks for that. So when your neighbor over the road is write one bag of essay, this is not you have the English already, Tarsha, so you don't have to write a bag of words this time. Just draw and you have a turn artist now, yeah? Turn artist now. You can draw, Tarsha?
I can do my thing.
Or you can do your thing. All right, good. All right, so annotated diagrams are very good to use when you're making your notes as well. When you're making your notes, when you watch my videos and you're making your notes, in the next class we look at text structures, how you comprehend what you're reading. All right? When you're making your notes, you use a lot of annotated diagrams. Don't just write off where you read. No, that's how it go. Now, I want to jump ahead to the D word. This is the famous one. Describe. Can somebody read that for me? Nikosha, can you read that? Read the first one, and then Clark, Miss Clark can read the part that says description maybe. Read this one for me, Nikosha. Provide.
Provide detailed factual information of the appearance or arrangement of a specific structure or the sequence of a specific process.
Okay. So they are saying to you that when the exam asks you to describe, they are basically saying you must provide detailed factual information of the appearance. So description can be talking about the appearance or something looks, or the arrangement of a specific structure or sequence of a specific process. So you have when you're stating step by step of a particular process or structure. So for example, you're describing breathing. Then you have to talk about what happens first, what happens second, what happens third, etc. So when you're writing it, as we say, first, this happened. Secondly, this happened. Thirdly, this happened. Then this happened. And finally, this happened. That's how you should write your answers. Miss Clark, can you read the policy description, please? Mr. Clark, we're not hearing you.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead. Can you read the part? That's a description right here.
Descriptions may be in words, drawings, or diagrams, or any appropriate combination. Drawings or diagrams should be annotated to show appropriate detail where necessary.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Just the word annotated come back again. Huh. So you see, when you're writing a description, you don't have to have a bag of words. Descriptions may be in words, don't have to be in words. Maybe in drawings or diagrams or any appropriate combination. Meaning, you can combine words with drawings, words with diagrams. Diagrams that will refer to like graphic organizer, like what you probably call a concept map, all right? So whenever you're writing notes, practice to use this kind of thing, technique. So when you watch my videos, you pause and you write, you know, a little thing or two. Write, you draw, you sketch a thing and so whatever. You don't have to be an artist. You can use triangle to represent one organ, or hexagon to represent another organ. Yeah, that's something. Symbols. Nothing is wrong with that. But what you must state though is that the triangle represents the long sir, the hexagon represent that sir, blah blah blah. Right? So you don't have to be an artist like Nikosha. You're an artist, Nikosha? Nikosha, you're an
Yes,
artist? You're an artist?
yes, sir.
Wow!
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'll have to borrow some of your skills. All right. I'll make use of your skills. Nico, Tarsha, is what's going on? I have a language specialist and I have an artist. I'm blessed. Thank God. Eh? I am blessed. Yes, ma'am. Well blessed. Okay. Yes, CDP is live and direct today, man. Live and direct this year. I'm nice. I wonder if there's any chef in the place and somebody can cook and just WhatsApp the food to me and find a way to consume it. All right. All right. Good. All right. So describe. So when you're giving a description, practice the skills, students. Don't just write your notes them and because you're the traditional way is write down notes. Oh, and they read it over back. Nobody do that. I hate to see when students take up a book and I read over their notes. That times I never understand it at all. If you understand it, why I read it over back for? You're supposed to know it. Because to understand is the same thing as mean to know. And the word to know means to be intimate with. And that's why one science says to know is to love. And the Bible says Adam knew Eve. So he must be intimate with the information. Oh, yes. Good. So, I'll take you through the rest of the terms later on in the course as we go along. Now, I want to go to distinction, differentiate, tell the difference between or among. All right? Must be able to make a comparison and tell the differences. And there are different ways of showing a comparison. You can use diagrams to show comparisons. Please remind me to show you, to take you through the text structures. Please remind me to do that, all right? Now, the word discuss. A lot of students fail miserably on this. Discuss. It present reasoned arguments, meaning that arguments that are factual, that can be proven to be true. Consider points both for and against. So don't be like, and now I call him name because next time I get no visa for going next year. If him think him gonna win, if there any possible recounts, you know. So I call, but you must argue. You must not be biased. Argue for both for and against. You must give supporting details for something or against something. Both. Explain the relative merits of a case. Why is it important? Right? So when you're writing the answers, you're giving points, support points, main points, supporting details, I always tell my students when they're giving an explanation, give an example. When you're doing a discussion, give an example. Don't just leave it high and dry, because the example is what will save you in the exam. Is that clear? It's the example that saves you in the exam. All right. Uh, Two final things. Explain. Give reasons based on recall or account for. And that again, if you give an explanation, you must give an example. Must give an example. All right. Can't say I never did a warning. Okay. Last one. This one, you'll see it. Relate. Now, when you think about the word relate, what comes to your mind? Any one of you? What comes to your mind? Think about the word relate. What comes to your mind?
What you have in common?
Eh? I don't hear you.
Has in common.
Come again.
Has in common.
What they have in common? Yes, what they have in common. Good. So when you talk about something, what it has in common, all right, or connections, as you can see, show connections between, explain how one set of facts or data depend on others are determined by them. So what they're saying to you is this. Take for instance, if I take out your long bone, can you show me a long bone, please? Anybody can show me a long bone? You can show me a long bone?
Humerus.
What?
A humerus, this one.
The humerus. Oh, you're smart. I tell you what the long bone is. All right. Okay then. I think it's actually the femur is the long bone. The femur is what they call the long bone. The humerus is long, yes, but the femur is the longest bone. One in the leg. All right. Now, you could show a blind man a long bone, you know. Yes, man. You just got to touch it and see if it long. And you could draw one and show me. All right. So you must, but if you remove that long bone, will the person be able to walk?
No.
No. So in other words, movement is dependent upon these bones and the muscles. So we talk about relating, you have to talk about how one thing is dependent upon the other, how it depends on it. So sometimes the physical characteristics of the thing that makes what you observe possible. All right, that's how God works, you know. He does nothing by chance. He does nothing without a cause, without a reason. So therefore, if the bone is designed this, if the organ is designed this way, you look at how it is designed and how that design relates to its action or its function. All right. So all is right like that. They are getting an hint. This includes the values of any variable being investigated. Where no, oh, that's the record. Sorry. All right. So we finish with relate. All right. So basically, you can take some time out in your busy schedule because you should be getting busy after this to do some work. So go through the syllabus for yourselves. Go through the objectives, sorry, the glossary, and finally, no, I keep saying the word finally. This is the last finally. I don't know if someone would have told this in kosher, but you have to read the objectives for yourselves as well, and you come and build your presentation around the objectives. That's the final part of the preparation of it. So every objective in the syllabus, you have to present on it, and that will secure your grade 1. Any questions while we close for tonight? Any questions?
No, sir.
No questions? Okay. Ready to work? Ready to work?
When you ready?
When you're ready.
Yes.
When me ready? No, no, no. When
Yes.
un ready? When un ready, I will work. Yes.
When it's ready.
Okay, good. Ready. Very good. All right. So I'm going to give you access to your first HSB worksheets. So make sure you do it by before Wednesday. When our marathon sessions normally begins in January. So what that means is longer days, right? And as you get close to the exam, your number of sessions increases, but not the cost, just the number of sessions. All right. CDP labs is not it is education before business. Okay. But of course, you know that it is a collection of fees. I'm not responsible for that, but I'm just saying it on behalf of Mrs. Riley, the collection of fees that runs the school. So, but we deal with schoolwork first, which is of most importance to us as teachers, and make sure that you do your work. All right. So, I don't think I need to ask for a feedback, no, because you have given your feedback earlier for maths, but I hope it's the same for HSB and you will have some fun. But as I promised, I'll just give you peek, a little peek on what is possible. And I ask that you will subscribe to our channel, please. Share the link. Subscribe. Yeah, I start beg for subscription. Like how people beg for subscription now. Whenever I think I was beg for them something, but being that people that beg me, I beg to for some subscriptions and some likes. That all right? But no answer me.
Sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Share the link, click on the bell, and subscribe. Some say I'm begging, some I beg to. All right. Looking for one of the presentations that were done by one of our students. That was a maths one over there, so see if I can find a bio one. Yes, and some of the classes were recorded as this is being recorded. So you can even go through the recorded sessions by yourself and learn a little thing from it. Oh, that's Miss Riley right there standing. That's one of our biology videos there. Was a lot of searching. A lot of searching, folks. Too much searching, too much searching, too much searching. Oh, you might love this one. Welcome to another Science Audio Visual Tutor, brought to you by Ronique Bernard. Human and Social Biology. Your topic for today is the skeletal system. At this point, I'm going to ask each student to take out your pencil, your pen, and your notebook. Now, what you're going to do with your pen and pencil and notebook, you're going to simply listen to what I'm saying. You're going to take notes. So you may pause your video at intervals and record your notes. And then you play it back to see if what you have recorded is similar to what I have said or what I have shown you. Okay, so please take notes and remember to read your notes as well. And if you want to read a textbook afterwards, no problem. Let's get into the lesson. Preview. The skeleton provides a framework to support the parts of the body. I am, and my purpose to you, and also my function. Hi. Now please pay attention and listen. Alright, students, I'm Mr. Bernard, and Mr. Skelly, I'm going to tell you about Mr. Skelly. Okay, now first, in your syllabus, you need to find out or to be able to identify major bones of the skeleton. So what we're going to do is to identify some of these bones that make up Mr. Skelly. Alright, first and foremost, let us identify this part. Now this, of course, as you know, is the skull or the cranium. Now along with the cranium, you have the eye sockets, where the orbits rather, that protects the eyes, and then of course you have the lower jaw that supports the mouth, gum, the teeth, everything. Now coming from the cranium, turn around Mr. Skelly. Coming from the cranium, you'll have a bone called the vertebral column. Now the vertebral column is made up of 33 different bones. Now the first 7 bones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bones, are called the cervical vertebrae. Right? Now the cervical vertebrae are the bones that allow the head to what? Rotate. Good? And then the next 12 bones, of which the rib cage. Alright, so that is it. At least you have things to look about. How was that little sneak preview? Was that okay? Hello? Nobody not paying no mind? Alright. Hello? Okay. So those are the videos you'll be watching and making your notes and stuff like that. So you see, a presentation like what I did, you will be doing a presentation just the same. Maybe not with, you don't have that, probably not have that type of camera, but you'll be using Zoom to do your presentations. All right, so that's a wrap. So I'll see you next week, Wednesday. We'll begin your first HSB class, and you get your assignments to do. You log into Schoology. I'll give you a Schoology account between tomorrow. Just send me a text to remind me. So I send in your Schoology account. Normally, we allow the students to pay the registration fee first, but because I wanted to get started, I'm going to ask permission to let you have the enrollment letters right away, and you sort out your registration afterwards. All right. So you need to start your first assignment for next week, Wednesday. All right. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Sister Clark?
Yes, sir.